Most people think manifestation is about wishing for things to happen or repeating affirmations blindly. But the truth is far more fascinating. It's about understanding how your brain creates reality. In the next 20 minutes, we'll explore the science behind manifestation, its benefits, its limitations, and how you can truly use it in your life. I'm Dr. Tara Swart, and I study the human brain and human potential. Manifestation works not because of magic or luck, but because of the way your brain is wired. Every thought you have is creating neural pathways in your brain. The more you focus on something, the more your brain trains itself to notice opportunities and take actions aligned with your goals. This filtering system is called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. Today, we'll break it all down: how manifestation works, why some people fail at it, the benefits it can bring, the potential drawbacks, and practical tips you can implement immediately. Manifestation is often misunderstood. It's not about passively wishing or waiting for miracles. It's about focus, emotion, repetition, and action. Neuroscience shows that when you focus intensely on a goal and pair it with strong emotion, your brain creates new neural pathways. These pathways prime you to notice opportunities that support your goal, influence your behavior, and ultimately shape your reality. For example, athletes visualize success before a game, and top performers across fields use visualization to mentally rehearse their goals. This is not mystical. It's your brain responding to repeated focus and emotional engagement. Many people believe that manifestation is all about wishing for things to happen or repeating affirmations blindly. They imagine it as some mystical process, where merely thinking about something magically brings it into reality. But the truth, backed by neuroscience, is far more fascinating. Manifestation is a process rooted in the workings of the human brain. It is science, not magic. Manifestation works because our brains are constantly processing information and filtering what we pay attention to. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, is shaping your brain's neural pathways. These pathways influence the way you perceive the world, notice opportunities, and make decisions. When you focus your mind on a specific goal, your brain begins to notice patterns, cues, and possibilities related to that goal, often without you consciously realizing it. This is how your attention literally shapes your reality. The Reticular Activating System, or RAS, is a key part of this process. Think of it as a mental filter. The RAS helps your brain prioritize what is important and ignore what is not. When you give clear attention to your goals, your brain filters the world around you to highlight opportunities, resources, and connections that align with what you're aiming for. This is why people often say that when they focus on something, it seems to come to them. Their brain has been trained to see it. However, manifestation isn't just about thinking positively or daydreaming. Neuroscience shows that focus must be combined with emotion and action. The brain responds to repeated attention and emotionally charged visualization by forming strong neural pathways. These pathways strengthen your ability to notice opportunities and act on them. In other words, manifestation is about training your brain to align your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with your goals. Understanding manifestation as science rather than magic changes the way you approach it. It encourages deliberate practice, patience, and consistency. You stop waiting passively for results and start engaging your brain actively, focusing, visualizing, and taking actionable steps. This is the power of manifestation, a scientifically grounded method to create real, measurable change in your life. The brain is an incredibly complex organ, constantly processing millions of bits of information every second. If it paid attention to everything, we would be overwhelmed and unable to function. This is where the Reticular Activating System, or RAS, comes into play. The RAS is a small but powerful network of neurons in the brainstem that acts as a filter, deciding what information reaches our conscious mind and what gets ignored. In essence, it determines what we notice and what we overlook in our daily lives. When it comes to manifestation, the RAS is one of the most critical components. Your brain cannot focus on everything at once, so it prioritizes what you deem important. When you set clear goals and focus intensely on them, your RAS is activated to notice opportunities, resources, and signals in your environment that align with your intentions. This is why people often describe experiences of coincidences or synchronicities after they begin focusing on a particular goal. It's not magic. It's your brain filtering information in a way that supports your objectives. For example, if you decide to buy a specific car and start thinking about it, suddenly you start seeing that car everywhere. The car hasn't multiplied, your RAS is simply highlighting it because you have trained your brain to prioritize that information. The same principle applies to goals, career opportunities, relationships, and personal growth. By focusing your attention deliberately, you are programming your brain to notice what matters most. However, the RAS does not work alone. It responds strongly to emotion and repetition. The more vividly and emotionally you visualize a goal, the stronger the neural pathways become, and the more effectively your RAS filters relevant information. This is why manifestation exercises often emphasize feeling as though your goal is already achieved. It engages the brain at a deeper level, making the process more effective. Understanding the RAS helps us see why many people struggle with manifestation. Without clear focus, consistent visualization, and emotional engagement, the brain has no specific filter to guide it. Random or scattered thoughts produce random results. But when used intentionally, the RAS becomes a powerful ally, training your mind to notice opportunities, make decisions aligned with your goals, and take purposeful actions that create real change in your life. In short, manifestation is not wishful thinking. It is the brain's natural way of filtering and organizing reality based on your attention, priorities, and emotional energy. By understanding and harnessing the RAS, you can consciously direct your perception, your decisions, and ultimately your reality. Many people think that manifestation is simply about wishing or thinking positively. They imagine that if they just imagine a goal or repeat affirmations, it will magically appear in their lives. But neuroscience shows that manifestation is far more than that. It is a combination of focus, emotion, and action, working together to rewire your brain and shape your reality. First, focus is essential. The brain cannot act on scattered or vague intentions. Your reticular activating system, RAS, filters the world around you based on what you give your attention to. By clearly defining your goal and focusing on it consistently, your brain begins to notice opportunities, patterns, and resources that you would have otherwise overlooked. This focus is the first step in aligning your brain with your intentions. Next comes emotion. Thoughts alone are not enough to create lasting neural changes. Your brain responds most strongly to emotionally charged experiences. When you visualize your goal and feel the emotions as if it has already happened, the excitement, joy, relief, or pride, your brain strengthens the neural pathways associated with that vision. Emotion acts like fuel, amplifying the effect of focus and embedding the desired patterns into your subconscious mind. This is why visualization exercises often emphasize feeling, not just seeing. Finally, action completes the process. Manifestation is not passive. Your brain may notice opportunities, but unless you act on them, nothing changes. Action reinforces the neural pathways you've created, solidifying new habits, behaviors, and strategies that move you closer to your goals. Without action, manifestation remains theoretical. With action, it becomes reality. When combined, these three elements, focus, emotion, and action, create a powerful cycle. Focus trains your RAS, emotion strengthens the neural pathways, and action translates mental patterns into tangible results. This is how manifestation works in real life. It is the science of aligning your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors to achieve measurable outcomes. Understanding this formula also explains why many attempts at manifestation fail. People often focus inconsistently, lack emotional engagement, or fail to take meaningful action. Without all three components working together, the brain cannot rewire effectively, and manifestation remains ineffective. In short, manifestation is not magic or wishful thinking. It is a structured, scientific process, clear focus to guide your perception, emotion to energize your neural pathways, and action to make your goals real. Mastering these three elements transforms manifestation from a mystical idea into a practical, achievable skill. Manifestation is often misunderstood as just a mystical concept or a series of affirmations, but when practiced correctly, it is a powerful tool rooted in neuroscience, helping you harness your brain's potential to create meaningful change in your life. Understanding its benefits can motivate you to integrate manifestation into your daily routine. The first major benefit is clarity of goals. Manifestation requires you to define exactly what you want, forcing your mind to organize vague desires into clear objectives. This clarity allows your brain to focus on what truly matters, filtering distractions and aligning your perception with your intentions. By knowing precisely what you want, you are more likely to notice opportunities that move you closer to your goals. Second, manifestation enhances decision-making and problem-solving. When your brain is tuned into specific objectives, your RAS highlights information and situations relevant to those goals. This heightened awareness helps you make more informed choices, recognize patterns, and seize opportunities that others might miss. In essence, your brain becomes a guided navigator toward your desired reality. Another key benefit is motivation and confidence. Visualizing success and feeling the associated emotions primes your brain to believe in your abilities. This mental rehearsal creates a sense of certainty and readiness, which increases the likelihood of taking action consistently. The more you practice manifestation, the more you cultivate self-efficacy. the belief that you can achieve what you set out to do. Manifestation also contributes to emotional resilience and stress reduction. Positive visualization and focus help reduce anxiety by mentally rehearsing success and problem solving. Your brain begins to anticipate outcomes in a controlled, safe mental environment, which reduces fear of failure and increases confidence in real-world situations. Finally, manifestation strengthens behavioral alignment. By repeatedly focusing, visualizing, and taking intentional actions, you train your brain to adopt habits and behaviors that are in harmony with your goals. This means you naturally act in ways that support your desired outcomes, making success more attainable. In summary, manifestation is not just about thinking positively. It is a scientifically grounded method that enhances clarity, awareness, motivation, emotional resilience, and behavioral alignment. It allows you to take control of your brain's attention and energy, transforming your thoughts into real-life achievements. When you understand and leverage these benefits, manifestation becomes a practical, empowering tool, one that turns your intentions into reality through the science of how your brain works. While manifestation is a powerful tool backed by neuroscience, it is often misunderstood. Many people approach it with unrealistic expectations, leading to frustration, disappointment, and even the belief that manifestation doesn't work. Understanding the common misconceptions and potential drawbacks is essential for using this technique effectively. One of the most common misconceptions is that manifestation is instant. People often expect immediate results after visualizing their goals or repeating affirmations. In reality, neural rewiring and behavior change take time. The brain needs consistent focus, emotional engagement, and deliberate action to build new pathways that support your desired outcomes. Patience and persistence are essential. Manifestation is a process, not a magical shortcut. Another widespread misconception is that positive thinking alone is enough. While optimism and affirmations can support manifestation, they cannot replace deliberate focus, emotion, and action. Thoughts without emotional engagement or corresponding behavior have little impact on your brain's neural pathways. The brain needs a combination of cognitive focus, emotional intensity, and actionable steps to create meaningful change. A significant drawback is ignoring action. Some people visualize their goals intensely but fail to take consistent steps toward them. This can create a false sense of progress and ultimately lead to frustration. Manifestation is most effective when paired with concrete, practical actions that align with your intentions. Without action, visualization remains theoretical. Another potential pitfall is unrealistic expectations. Manifestation works best for achievable, meaningful goals that are within your control. Expecting instant wealth, fame, or outcomes beyond realistic effort can lead to disappointment. Aligning your goals with your skills, resources, and circumstances ensures that your manifestation practice remains productive and grounded in reality. Lastly, neglecting emotional awareness can limit effectiveness. Manifestation requires connecting deeply with the feelings associated with achieving your goals. Without this emotional engagement, your brain is less likely to strengthen the neural pathways that guide your perception and behavior towards success. In summary, manifestation is a powerful tool but not a magic wand. Its effectiveness depends on realistic goals, consistent focus, emotional engagement, and aligned action. Misunderstanding these principles can lead to frustration, wasted effort, and skepticism. By recognizing these misconceptions and drawbacks, you can approach manifestation scientifically, using it to enhance your brain's natural capacity to shape your reality. Manifestation is a science, not magic, but like any science, it has rules and principles that must be followed for it to work effectively. The most common reason people fail to manifest their goals is not understanding how to align their thoughts, emotions, and actions with their intentions. Manifestation becomes powerful when practiced correctly, using a structured approach that engages the brain at every level. The first step is clarity. Your brain cannot act on vague intentions. You must define your goal in precise, specific terms. What exactly do you want to achieve? When you create a clear mental picture of your goal, you give your reticular activating system, RAS, something concrete to focus on. This clarity allows your brain to filter information, notice opportunities, and recognize patterns that support your objective. The second step is emotional engagement. Visualization alone is not enough. You must feel as though your goal has already been achieved. Neuroscience shows that emotionally charged experiences create stronger neural pathways in the brain. Feeling excitement, joy, or relief while visualizing your desired outcome signals to your brain that this goal is meaningful, strengthening your subconscious alignment with it. The third step is consistent, aligned action. Manifestation is not passive. While your brain may notice opportunities, nothing changes unless you act. Every small step you take toward your goal reinforces the neural pathways associated with it. solidifying the habits, behaviors, and decisions that move you closer to success. Action transforms mental patterns into tangible results. Another crucial element is reflection and adjustment. Manifestation is a dynamic process. Monitor your progress regularly, reflect on what works and what doesn't, and adjust your approach as necessary. This allows your brain to recalibrate and stay aligned with your evolving goals. Finally, patience and persistence are key. Neural rewiring and behavioral changes take time. Manifestation is most effective when practiced consistently over weeks, months, or even years. It is the repeated, intentional alignment of focus, emotion, and action that produces lasting results. In conclusion, correct manifestation is a deliberate, scientific practice. It requires clear goals, emotional engagement, aligned action, reflection, and persistence. When these elements work together, you train your brain to notice opportunities, make informed decisions, and create measurable changes in your life. Manifestation is not about waiting for magic. It is about intentionally directing your thoughts, feelings, and actions to bring your desired reality into existence. So there you have it, the truth about manifestation. It's a science, not a mystery. Your brain is capable of amazing things when trained with focus, emotion, and action. Start practicing consciously today and watch as your intentions transform into reality.